big man with the big mustache. Grant Baker, how you doing, buddy? From our weekend show After Hours, filling in for Tim Senor tonight. Good to have you here, Lip Blade.
Hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the invite.
I appreciate you coming on late notice. Tim was going to make it tonight. He was racing home from Portland after buying a motor home that they are turning into a workstation for when they go out to, him and his team go out to Utah to the Blind Frog Ranch to try and set up some UFO watching gear. And it's going to be pretty impressive when we start getting updates on that. I'm very much looking forward to it. And so Grant is filling in tonight. He's even brushed his teeth for this show. We appreciate that. All right, Grant, where are we going to start tonight? I mean, there's some good stuff out there, brother.
There
Very
is.
good stuff. How about we start off with this weird signal that astronomers have found from billions of light years away? Mm-hmm. Do we finally have Guns N' Roses playing on a different planet?
You would hope that. And it might not be Guns N' Roses. It might be Marcy's Playground, so to speak. So realistically, I mean, and this is something that's coming from astronomers at MIT. And so I even had to have a conversation with my significant other about this because this is actually pretty wild. So they got a radio signal from another galaxy. So it's not something that is in our galaxy. This is something from a completely different galaxy, and it's flashing repeatedly. And there's a group of Canadians that's they're members of CHIVE, which is Canadian Hydrogen Intensity Mapping Equipment, I believe. And they said that it's an FRB. It's a fast radio burst, and it's billions of light years away, just like you said. So the most interesting thing about FRBs is they only last like 0.02 or a millisecond. I mean, like 0.02 is even long for that. And those have been discovered 15 years ago. Like, we've heard about these things, pulsars, and everybody's read about this years and years ago. So it's nothing new, and there's hundreds of them. So we know all about them. But this one, on the other hand, lasts about 1,000 times longer. It's wild. It's unusual because it's very long, and there is a periodic peaks, so to speak. Like it's kind of like a clock. Like it's regular. They're very precise, and they're of a fraction of a second. But it's the first time a signal was periodic. It's very. Gosh, how do I say that? It's precise. And it's a million times brighter from any of our own galactic pulsars. I mean, it is literally out there, and we discovered it. It's one of those things where it almost, I don't even know how we didn't discover it earlier than this. And they say that it's in a very turbulent cloud of plasma, which some pulsars can be just out in the open. Sometimes they're in a lot of plasma, so there's a lot of distortion through them. So to speak, this one is very irregular because it lasts about 3 seconds long, and that's what's so irregular about it. But it's very regular, being like you can use it as a clock, and they're actually looking at it as an astrological clock, so to speak, I guess you would call it. And they even think they can measure the rate at the galaxy, or not the galaxy, the universe is expanding. And so it's very exciting. And so the really cool thing is now that we have the James Webb telescope out there, that they're trying to find more of these signals. And they think there's actually a lot more of them out there.
I hope there is, man. Mm-hmm. I really hope there is, because one of these signals is going to be what we're looking for. Now, of course, according to SETI, these signals never happen. We've never caught one, and there's nothing out there, and we're boring. We're the only ones here. But that's SETI, of course. I love this. I love the fact that we're pushing further into other galaxies looking for these signals, because all it takes is one. All it takes is one.
Well, I mean, I told my partner, I was like, hey, this is what's going on. And of course, she's literally a doctor, so she has science as a degree. And the first thing she said, and I think she was being, a little quippy with me, but she was like, "Oh, it's aliens." I was like, "Nah, this is something different. This is something that's pretty important." And so I think if it's aliens, it's not going to come across quite like that. And if it does, it's going to have an underlying current of some other signature that's in there that we can detect. But realistically, I hope this James Webb telescope that we have out there and all the sensors that we have are going to be able to pick up more of these, because there's going to be that one needle in a haystack, and it's going to be like, hey, here's our radio station. Hey, you're going to watch, Harry and the Hendersons in a different way.
Yes. Yeah, except the human is Harry and the Hendersons are the Sasquatch.
Exactly.
I think that would be cool. Total role reversal there. But you know what? It is something that we do have to pay attention to. It's something that is going to be happening, like you said, more frequent as our technology continues to grow with, especially with James Webb. The satellite, and I think this is going to be amazing. I'm so excited about this. Not very often I geek out about anything NASA did or does.
Yeah.
Okay, especially they're in my bad books right now, but still, nonetheless, with this signal coming out and the folks at MIT finding it, it's wonderful. And, this isn't the first time this has happened. It happened a couple of years ago as well, where another signal was found that I believe was an exploding star, the sound from an exploding star that kind of popped up. But I hope they find something closer.
I do too.
And I hope they're able to be forthright with it. Because if they find something closer that's a little bit louder, that's a little bit more human-esque, can we say that, human-esque or humanoid?
Yeah.
Would that
that's a
be the
good
proper
one.
way? That's where I think we may get into trouble, because they may not bring that one forward unless it's caught by somebody or a group of people with a university who aren't told by the military or the government to keep quiet on it, man.
And you never know. I mean, realistically, if it's something that, let's say there's another people on another planet somewhere that are even 1,000 years more advanced than we are, they might not even use radio waves. They might be using light. And I'm not talking about whatever that movie, I can't even remember the name of it, where he was a light being and he could travel back and forth on light beams. But literally, they could have a whole different aspect of how they talk. And it's just like a little chirp, and we just completely pass it by. But hopefully it's one of those things that it is recognizable to us. We're like, hey, this is very irregular. It's kind of like finding 90-degree angles on Mars. You see something like that, it's like, that was built, not natural. And so hopefully we can see it, or at least have the ability to see the not natural signal, and that would be great. I'd love the James Webb Space Telescope or any of the other sensors that we're coming out with, especially some of the radio antenna array that we have out there that are the size of 5 football fields. Hopefully we find something. It'd be great.
I agree. All right, let's move on to the next story here, where the U.S. military has created a new acronym to talk about UFOs. I mean, really, another group, another acronym. Why can't they make up their bloody minds on this?
Well,
it's not that hard.
How many people in the audience actually knows what AOIMSG stands for? I mean, that is the worst acronym I've ever heard. And for the last few months, I'm sitting there scratching my head like, why? Like, why can't you do something? At least the new one is much simpler. And for anybody out there that wants to know what AOIMSG stands for, it's Airborne Object Identification Management Synchronization Group. That is more than a mouthful, but they're going to change it, and it's going to be all domain anomaly resolution. I actually had to read that because I hadn't had that memorized yet, and that came out Tuesday from the Pentagon. But if you actually boil it down to what it's supposed to say, is AARO, AARO. That's what they want, which is great because everybody can remember AARO.
Well, it's better than AOIMSG and then AIMSOG and ATIP and OSAP and and
Let's just
GFY.
exactly. Well, at least in this particular case, if you're going to say arrow, at least it's not broken. That's a scarier version of something that they've came out with. But I mean, when you come out with arrow, the all domain anomaly resolution, I mean, Sue Goff said that it's a renaming of AYMSG, and it's also like a mission expansion. So they're actually adding, they made the acronym shorter, and they're adding more to it, like on the mission of what they feel it's a better way to reflect and expand the scope of all the offices, which includes, oh gosh, UAPs from space, from the air, from sea. I mean, it's funny how they say it though. If you read the article, they're like, oh yeah, things that are anomalous in space, or things are anomalous in our physical airspace within our atmosphere, as well as things that are under the sea. And it's like, okay, so they're multi-medium craft or objects, whatever you want to call it. I mean, realistically, oh gosh, how do I put this? The real thing that they're looking for is they want to take it seriously. Gosh, this is one of those hard ones where they're renaming it, and I like the fact that they're renaming it because they're putting more money into it, and they're actually taking a closer look at. I mean, I hate to say this, it's a threat narrative. I really don't like saying that. I don't think it's a threat narrative, but let's let that go. And right now they're actually taking every case by case seriously. They're looking at it to see if there's like a national security threat, or if they can identify the object. I mean, they're synchronizing efforts across all departments of defense, every single one of them, and all the sightings that are like in sensitive areas. So let's say you have a ship out in the ocean, and nobody's supposed to know it's there, and all these things are buzzing it. That's a sensitive area. Or anything on no-fly zones over bases and stuff like that. They're taking every single one of those serious, and they're putting it in categories now. And I unfortunately, I had to write this down for you guys because some of these make no sense to me. So you have surveillance, which we all know. We have sensors, multiple sensors, from radar to satellite to whatever they have nowadays that they're not telling us about. So there's a surveillance. That's number one. Collecting and reporting, which we've been doing that forever. That's number two. System capabilities and design. So that's one of those things where you're looking at an object and you're looking, okay, the design, they all look different. Almost every single one of them, besides, Commander David Faber's Tic Tac, and a few people have seen those. But I mean, their capabilities, we already know they're more capable than we have right now. Into intelligent operations and analysis. That was a little.
That was a mouthful there for sure. But what I'm very also excited about is the fact that anything can be reported.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope that they're just as open with those reports, because you know what? Here's the thing where I worry, Grant. People like you and me, or our audience, they go fill out one of these reports.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, you're being tracked because they have your name, your phone number, your address, email, everything. And it doesn't matter whether you're a regular citizen or you're somebody like Lou Elizondo, who they'd already know, or a fighter pilot or whatever. I mean, that's fine and dandy. What if somebody from Area 51 or Dugway or Dulce wanted to come out and say, are they going to be really treated the same? I mean, there's a lot of questions I have. Yeah. There's a lot of questions I have about this.
When you say the transparency thing, and of course, when it comes to this, they say, "Oh, we're trying to do this for maximum transparency." Yeah, okay, but they're still trying to retain classified information on the sensors and everything else.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. It's oh man, it just doesn't work that way. Oh, we're seeing these things, but we can't tell you how we're seeing them. because
Right.
we don't want anybody else knowing about it. And then they have, one of the other things they were doing is try mitigation and defeat. It's like, how are you going to mitigate something you don't even have control of? How are you going to defeat it, because we've never been able to bring one down? And then you want to put governance on it and then try to take in science and technology about it. It's like, dude, you guys are, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't get them.
Yeah, I don't get it either, man. I really don't. But you know what? We'll continue the talk here on Arrow when we return. Arrow. Are you ready for Arrow? I don't know if I am. What the hell is disclosure, anyways? Do they even care? We'll find out with the mustachioed one, Grant Baker, on the UFO Report, coming up next. Good morning, little Johnny Davies. Hey, Paranormal Highway, how you doing? Carbine's right. How you doing, man? We'll continue on with this for a few minutes.
Jonathan Davies. Good.
I had a good chat with him earlier today.
I like him.
Yeah. Well, it was about crap. What was it? About 15 hours ago. We were chatting on the phone. One life man, inner Earth exists. Why not? Everything's up in the air until disclosure happens.
Or until they take better pictures of Antarctica, my man. So if you go down the YouTube rabbit hole and look up Admiral Byrd, we'll just watch the Longines Watch Company and watch the yellow and black, not white and black or black and white. Yeah. Watch that show. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't do that, dude. That's
I know. I'm sorry. All domain anomaly resolution office. Oh my God. So why don't they just say, we hate you? There's a perfect name for it. We hate you.
We hate you. We hate you.
We hate you. I have the biggest craving right now, man, for a cream soda slushie.
Oh gosh, that sounds great. Holy crap.
Yeah. And this little bloody moth. Yeah. I may have to take off after the show and get a slushie.
Oh man. I've already drank a couple beers, so realistically I can't drive, unfortunately, but I think I got some cream soda down in the garage. I can make a slushie. I can make one. I know my 9-year-old daughter can do it.
Boy, cream soda slushie would be good right now. I can taste it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can taste it right now. It's like, if we had a longer break, I'd go right now. You want to do the news for me, and I'll run and grab a slushie?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Gargamel Zioka, welcome to SOR chat. Yeah, we don't talk about that bullshit, dude. Come on. Zero proof. Okay, use your pedophile argument for someplace else. All right. Yeah. Either way. You started strong until you made that comment.
Mike Bothwell, slush puppies. Fuck. Now I need to get one.
I'll bring one over.
Sold. I will accept. It's a great offer. Freaking NASA, man. So mad at them.
Oh, dude. Don't even get me started on them pricks.
A little late to the game, are you, boys? Oh, you found out you can make some money. Jackwagons.
Who looks like Wes Borland? Yeah, Grant kind of does look like Wes Borland.
So you ought to see me when I wear these glasses and I grow out my hair and I shave the mustache and put on the work suit with the blue tie and the blue sports coat, and all of a sudden you got Clark Kent.
You know who Wes Borland is, right?
No, I don't.
Lead guitarist of Limp Bizkit.
Oh.
Guy who does all the body paint and weird outfits and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that. That's a good call, Michael Bothwell. Good call on that one.
Oh, look at this. 36-year-old divorced mom. Don't you love these text messages?
Oh,
Ready
yeah.
for fun. God.
They never turn out to be real.
Oh, no. They're all scams, unfortunately. I'm just kidding, but
20 seconds here. Thank you to Smithy, Lala times 2, Ghostly, Thomas, and Vaughn for the super chats. Thank you to everybody who's given us a thumbs up tonight. If you haven't already, do so. It helps with our algorithms, especially if we can hit 100. And here we go, everyone. We're on at third. We're headed for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. Oh, we're having a fun time here tonight. We really are. Hey, if you've missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot, reading Shirky Poo's Newswire. Check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. Are you ready for Arrow? That's AARO, otherwise known as the replacement to the AOI MSG. What the hell does this stand for? All Domain Anomaly Research or Resolution Office. Yeah. All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. This sounds like a place to complain about websites. You know what I'm saying? No, it's for UFO tracking, replacing the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group, otherwise known as the AOI MSG. Yeah, because, we need about 47 of these groups before we need to get started. Grant Baker from After Hours is here, filling in for Tim Senor on the UFO report. Frustrating. And anything that, it's, if anybody wants to see a typical government move, Grant, this whole UFO file has been that.
It has been.
It really has been a waste of money, waste of time, everything. Mm-hmm. All you need is one group, just one. You don't have to change the name or the characters or the references or the directives or whatever. That's what a notepad is for. That's it.
Yep. I mean, really, how hard is it to create one group to look at the sky? I mean, and then you get NASA involved in it, and they're doing all these studies when you have, and they even say that this is nothing that currently exists from the Pentagon to track UFOs. And it's like, come on, guys, man. And they want to do this stuff over 9 months. And so how much is that going to cost our taxpayers? For now, Arrow, AOI MSG. It's exactly. I mean, it's just one of those things where it is just a bunch of BS, man. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
To be the guy who works at the Pentagon, some menial, custodian who has to now peel the AOI MSG letters off the glass door and now replace them again with AARO. I mean, this poor guy, his hands must be killing him from working on that one door, man.
And those stickers are $10,000 a piece. So
yeah, that's $10,000 an A.
Oh man, oh it's horrible. And their whole gig is, oh, we're trying to search for alien life through satellites and telescopes. Well, what the heck have we been doing for the last 15 years, guys? Like,
get mad, do it, get mad. This is true. This is true. Because you go on UFO Twitter or you look it up recently, the past number of days, UAPs, hashtag UAPs or hashtag UFOs has been trending.
mm-hmm.
And you look at all these UFO Twitter lights, they're like, oh, yes. They're acting like Paul Bearer from the WW. Oh, yes. Yes, my UFOs. You know, acting like this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. They refuse to see the stupidity of it all.
Yep.
Right? Right?
Yeah, well, and they're stringing us along and just taking you guys' money. That's all they're doing. They're not really doing much. But the good thing is that the government is actually, it's most of the world's looking at the United States government where they're just like, okay, what are they going to do next? I mean, it is kind of I almost said something bad. It's a clown show where everybody's waiting and they're not getting much, but we are getting some things. You have senators that are taking it seriously and trying to get us or the United States government or the DOD to be like, hey, our military, open up, man. Come on, guys. Air Force still hasn't said anything, and I doubt they are going to. I mean, and the more we wait, the more the taxpayers' money just goes into somebody else's pocket or some kind of, I don't understand the agenda.
I know. It's all turning political. It really is.
I hate it.
And NASA is still trying to act tough in this, like they have a say. God, I honestly, I want to take that board of directors from NASA. I want to take them out behind the barn. You know, put them in the squared circle and just suplex the crap out of them until they stop acting stupid.
Well,
I do.
You can't fix stupid, unfortunately. So, and I don't know.
You can with a good pile
driver. Oh my goodness, that's the cowboy way right there.
You can. I'm telling you right now. You get them. You come off the top ropes, my man. We'll get her done. That's the old school way. You know, old school way. Make it happen. But anyways, we got one more story here for tonight, and that is, well, we're sticking with NASA. Internal discussions of UFOs in newly released documents. And I know I'm about to get pissed off with this, so I'll let you go first.
Well, we got another, FOIA request, and this is about internal emails that they've been talking about UFOs, including an invite to an event called Extreme Acceleration by UAPs. I mean, put that all in caps. This happened, on a Tuesday. And the calendar, it was in a calendar event. It was when you put an event in your calendar on your phone and stuff. But anyways, doesn't matter. It was about Bill Nelson's calendar, and this is in March of 21. But in May of the same year, an email was sent out inside what do they call that, internal distribution. And it has to do with the search for life and techno signatures of UAPs. So that didn't make sense to me when I read that, because you're talking about life and techno signatures, which I thought was supposed to be on different planets, but then they say about UAPs, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Maybe they're just trying to see if someone's actually inside the vehicle. Either way, I mean, their whole goal in life is to find people out in the universe, somebody other and us, but they haven't found it yet. I mean, it's just all this jargon. Oh, we're going to have this. We're going to have an internal meeting and everybody's got to sign up for it. But and it's going to be about finding life in the universe. But we haven't found it yet. But we're looking to see if we're alone or if there's life on other planets and even moons, which I thought was interesting that they actually put that in there. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but
let's go down that rabbit hole. Let's do it.
You want me to? So there's
you know what? I'll tell you. I'm going to jump in here because I'm already mad. I'm already mad. Okay. The fact that NASA and their executives from Bill Nelson on down have the audacity to even say that in conversation, whether it's through themselves or their PR people and their communications people, I really don't care. Okay. Stop playing the public for fools. You have astronauts from Gemini right through to today who have had encounters with UFOs. You have the pictures. You have the reports firsthand. Stop playing us like we're stupid. Bill Nelson, I know he's new. Okay, I know he has an interest in this subject. But guess what, buddy? You took the job as top dog. You're the one who accepted it, and no matter what, it's your fault. The big dog on campus always takes the fall. That's what you sign up for, okay? When hockey players or football players or baseball players aren't playing for their manager takes the fall, and they bring in somebody new. And Bill Nelson has he's been around NASA for 50 plus years. He knows. He's in the know. He's talked to astronauts. God, I believe he was an astronaut himself. Okay? He knows. He may not have been. I don't know. It is as Michael Boyle in our office. Nah, Dave, it's not as simple as Bill Nelson is top dog. Doesn't matter. You take the job. You take the fall. You don't treat people like they're stupid. NASA, out of anybody, when it comes to this subject, needs to check their own closet. They need to check their own closet. They've got the photos. They've got the videos. What about the video feeds that they have purposely crashed from the ISS or space shuttles or from satellites? I'm not trying to play conspiracy theorist here. This is true stuff. If you're not listening to your own astronauts that you have paid multi-millions of dollars or spent multi-millions of dollars in training for each one, and you're not listening to them, your best of the best, your top 1% of 1%, then NASA, you're a bunch of fools. And I'm sorry, we got to stop treating NASA like they're just the new part of this association. They're not. I would use a lot of swear words right now to describe them if I could, but I can't, and I won't. Grant, you got to settle me down here, man.
So you were correct that he was actually an astronaut. He was a payload. He did something with payload on one of the flights out there. But anyways, I mean, you're correct. If anybody wants to look back at any astronaut, including, I mean, you can look all the way back to Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, and when they were asked questions, I mean, do your own homework, get on there, read the transcripts, watch the videos, and watch these guys' faces. Something's wrong, and they're not. And I don't want to hear any kind of we didn't really go. I'm not going down that whole rabbit hole, that whole conspiracy theory. I think they were told, hey, don't tell anybody what you saw. I mean, it's one of those deals. I think they know. 100%. And this is just a bunch of baloney.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of baloney. I don't want to. I don't want to get as mad as you do. So I'm,
but we got time. We got like 2 minutes, man. We got time. Tell me how you feel.
I'm going to tell you right now. I think NASA is literally the only way that they can siphon money out of the American people. I think that they know everything that's going on, the sensors that they have, including the sensors that the DoD gives them that are obsolete, which is still 20 years and more advanced than what we know about. I think they know every single stinking thing that they got up there. I think they know about everything, but they're not going to tell anybody because it's just like the oil company. We're just going to go ahead and make money after dollar after dollar after dollar on anybody that can pay for it. And guess what? We're just a bunch of suckers too, because we're still paying for it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I hear you, man. We're still falling for it. But hey, UFO Twitter, they're all about, oh, this is just wonderful. This is great news. NASA, thank you for joining the program and being loud and proud about your support for UAP. Let's get back to UFO. There's a lot less BS around it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Means the exact same thing.
And real quick,
yeah.
just if anybody in NASA is listening to this show, it's about time you came to the party. And I know why you waited so stinking long, because you're just waiting for the right angle. That's all you were waiting for, and you didn't do it. You didn't accomplish nothing.
Well,
wagons.
Appreciate it. Thank you for getting me fired up, Grantavius Max, on the UFO report. I really do appreciate it.
Oh man. I mean, when they say their goals are to mitigate such phenomenon, I would honestly, I want to know how you're going to mitigate this phenomenon. How are you going to be able to do that? Just because you say that you want to have the safety of our aircraft. These things have been flying around for millennia. Guys, get your head out of your rears and just tell us what the heck is going on for real.
Bingo.